Okay. This one? 27. Starting again.
28.
All right. 28 is Ushinare Shabud Raja Sujagya iti Vishnukaha Sapatna Nihato Yudhe Yatayastam Upasata. In the state known as Ushinara, there was a celebrated king named Sujagya. When the king was killed in battle by his enemies, his did I do Om Namo? Yeah, I did. Om Namo Bhagavate. Yeah. The king was killed in battle by his enemies. His kinsmen sat down around the dead body and began to lament the death of their friend. This is 3 verses. I think I'll do the first one responsibly, then I'll just read the second 2. And then we'll do the end. Vishirna Ratna Kavacham. Anybody have it? No. Vishirna Ratna Kavacham. I'll wait till somebody has it.
7.2.29. 7.2.29.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead. Vishirna Ratna Kavacham.
Wait.
No, you said no.
I'm waiting for a couple other people to get it on their phone. Okay. Vishirna Ratna Kavacham.
Vishirna Ratna Kavacham.
Viprashta Varanasrajam. Sharanirvina Hridayam. Shayanam Ashvig Avilam. Vishena Ratna Kavacham. Viprashta Varanasrajam. Sharanirvina Hridayam. Shayanam Ashvig Avilam. Vishena Ratna Kavacham. Viprashta Varanasrajam. Sharanirvina Hridayam. Shayanam Ashvig Avilam. Other?
Vishirna Ratna Kavacham.
Vishena Ratna Kavacham.
Viprashtavarana Strajam.
Srajam.
Saranirvinna Sadayam.
Sharanirvina Hridayam.
Sayanam Ashtrigavilam.
Shayanam Ashvigavilam.
Vishirna Ratna Kavacham.
Vishena Ratna Kavacham. Viprashta Varanasrajam.
Sharanirvinna Hridayam.
Sharanirvina Hridayam.
Shayanam Ashtrigavilam.
Shayanam Ashvigavilam.
Vishirna Ratna Kavacham.
Vishena Ratna Kavacham.
Viprashtavarana Strajam.
Viprashta Varanasrajam.
Saranirvinna Hridayam.
Sharanirvina Hridayam.
Ashtrigavilam.
Shayanam Ashvigavilam.
Vishirna Ratna Kavacham.
Vishena Ratna Kavacham.
Viprashtavarana Strajam.
Viprashta Varanasrajam.
Saranirvinna Hridayam.
Sharanirvina Hridayam.
Sayanam Asridvilam.
Shayanam Ashvigavilam.
Vishirna Ratna Kavacham.
Vishena Ratna Kavacham. Vishvaranasrajam. Sharanirvina Hridayam.
Shayanam Astikavinam.
Ashvigavilam. And I'll read the other 2. Prakirna Kesham Dvashtaksham. Rabhasa Dashtadam. Rajakunta Mukambujam. Chinnai Udhabujam Ride. Ushina Ushi Narendram Vidina Tatakitam Tim Mahisha Vashamiksha Dukita Katasma Nateti Karat Uru Brisham Natyo Muhustad Padayor Upapatam. And we'll do, let's see, I think word for word. Yeah. Vishirna scattered here and there.
Scattered here and there.
Ratna
Ratna
made of jewels.
made of jewels.
Kavacham
Kavacham,
protective armor.
protective armor.
Vibrashta
Vrishta
fallen off.
fallen off.
Varna,
Abharana
Abharana,
ornament.
ornaments.
Srijam
Jam
garland.
Garments.
Shara Nibina
Now,
pierced by arrow.
this bells.
Hridayam
Hridayam,
the heart.
the heart.
Shayanam
Dayanam
lying down.
Lying down.
Asrikavilam
Asrikavilam
smeared with blood.
blood.
Prakirnakesham
Purification
his hair loosened and scattered.
is here rooted and scattered.
Rashta aksham his eyes obscured.
His eyes obscured.
Rapasa with anger.
Thanks.
Dashta bitten.
Written
Dashchadam his lips.
lips.
Rajakanta
Jatvanta
covered with dust.
covered with dust.
Mukambojam
Kambojam
his face,
His face,
which had formerly resembled a lotus flower.
Body resembled the flower.
Chinna
Chinna,
Kada.
Ayutabujam his arms and weapons.
Arms and weapons.
Retained
Ready.
on the battlefield.
on the battlefield.
Ushinada Indram,
Vidam.
the master of the state of Ushinada.
Master of the state of Ushinada.
Vidhina, thy providence.
By providence.
Tata, thus. Vitam,
Vidam.
forced into this position.
Forced into this position.
Patim,
Them.
the husband.
The husband.
Mahisha,
Isha,
the queen.
the queens.
Prashamiksha, seeing.
Seen.
Dukita,
Kita.
very much agreed.
Very much agreed.
Tata,
Kada.
killed.
Killed.
Sma,
Sma.
certainly.
Second.
Nata,
Nata.
O husband.
O husband.
Iti,
Iti.
thus.
Thus.
Karai,
Right.
with the hand.
The hands.
Ura,
Uraha.
the breast.
Breath.
Risham,
Risham.
constantly.
Constantly.
Ganatya,
Ganatya.
Ganatya, funding.
Founding.
Muhu,
Moho.
again and again.
Again and again.
Tat padayo,
Tatadayoho.
at the feet of the king.
At the feet of the king.
Upapatan
Upapatan
fell down.
fell down.
His golden bejeweled armor smashed, his ornaments and garlands fallen from their places, his hair scattered and his eyes lusterless. The slain king lay on the battlefield, his entire body smeared with blood, his heart pierced by the arrows of the enemy. When he died, he had wanted to show his prowess, and thus he had bitten his lips, and his teeth remained in that position. His beautiful lotus-like face was now black and covered with dust from the battlefield. His arms, with his sword and other weapons, were cut and broken. When the queens and the king of Ushinara saw their husband lying in that position, they began crying, "O Lord, now that you have been killed, we also have been killed." Repeating these words again and again, they fell down, pounding their breast at the feet of the dead king. Repeat after me. His golden bejeweled armor smashed. His ornaments and garlands fallen from their places. His hair scattered and his eyes lusterless. The slain king lay on the battlefield.
The slain king lay on the battlefield.
His entire body smeared with blood.
His entire body smeared with blood.
His heart pierced by the arrows
His heart pierced by the arrow
of the enemy.
of the enemy.
When he died,
When he died,
he had wanted to show his prowess,
he had wanted to show his prowess.
and thus he had bitten his lips,
Thus he has bitten his lips,
and his teeth remained in that position.
and his teeth remained in that position.
His beautiful lotus-like face
Beautiful lotus-like face
was now black and covered with dust
was now black and covered with dust
from the battlefield.
from the battlefield.
His arms,
His arms,
with his sword and other
his
weapons,
sword and other weapons
were cut and broken.
were cut and broken.
And the queens of the king
And the queens of the king
of Ushinara
of Ushinara
saw their husband lying
Saw their husband lying
in that position.
in that position.
They began crying,
They
They died.
"O Lord,
O Lord,
now that you have been killed,
now they have been killed.
we also have been killed."
We also have been killed.
Repeating these words again and again,
Reading these words again and again,
they fell down,
they fell down,
pounding their breasts
pounding their breast
at the feet of the king,
at the feet of the dead.
dead king. Prabhupada's purport. As stated here, Rabasa Tashtachadam, the dead king, while fighting in anger, bit his lips to show his prowess, but nonetheless he was killed by providence, Vijnana. This proves that we are controlled by higher authorities. Our personal power or endeavor is not always supreme. We must therefore accept the position offered to us by the order of the Supreme. Om Gantamarandasya Ganandana Sakaya Chakshur Nidhitamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitangena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Gutapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shak Shri Rupam Sagadatam Sahagana Granakam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Godangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sudhidevi Pranamami Hari Anchakalpa Turubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So the one thing is here, it's like pretty the king is like, I'm this big, powerful man, the king of this country. Look at me. His whole life is like, I'm the king, and people do what I say. Everyone does what I say. They have to do what I say because I'm the king, and big, tough guy. A beautiful face, beautiful smiling, and when he was fighting in anger, he bit his lips to show his prowess. But nonetheless, I got my game face on. I'm really tough, and that's what the football players do, and sports people do. They paint their face with black paint and all kinds of things, and they grit their teeth and bite their lips, and they just want to show how tough they are. And they are tough. from the material point of view, they're pretty tough people. I'm sure the king was a pretty impressive guy, but then he's killed, and his face like stuck in that position, but is still biting his lips, and it's like, okay, you were the king, now you're dead. You still look like you were a pretty good, cool guy, but now you're dead, and in that body, and so it's all gone. It's all gone in a second. Everything is over. You don't know what you'll be in your next life. You might be a pig. You might be a demigod. You might be a human being again. You might be anything, but you don't know. You might be anything. You don't know. And like this, and that's what happens. Like yesterday, the dictator of Syria was deposed, and Assad, and he was dictator. His family was dictator before him for like 30 years. His father, and like about, I don't know, 13 years ago, he took over as ruler of the country, Syria. And like 5 or 10 years ago, the rebels tried to get him out, but they were all slaughtered by his armies. But within the last week, the rebels came back and they fought back again, and this time they won. In a week, in like 4 or 5 days, they took back the whole country. And usually, what happened most of the time, at least previously, before airplanes or even since airplanes, when a king was deposed, they would generally kill him and his whole family, and they burn down the palace, or at least kill the king. But he escaped on a plane to Russia, and they'll take good care of him in Russia. But generally, when a king or queen is ousted in a takeover, they just catch him and kill him, and sometimes in public execution, like put him up on the chunga for hang him in public. Yeah, big, strong person, but now you're dead. And so there is no, but he was, yeah, but he was powerful up until that day. He was the king. Anyway, so Prabhupada says in the purport, when your karma runs out, you've gotten a position by some past pious activities as king or whatever, but when your karma runs out, that's it. Your power is all gone. And Prabhupada says here in the purport, as stated here, Rabasa Tashta Tachadam, the dead king, while fighting in anger, bit his lips to show his prowess, but nonetheless he was killed by providence, Vijina. This proves that we are controlled by higher authorities. Our personal power or endeavor is not always supreme. We must therefore accept the position offered to us by the order of the Supreme. So everyone in the material world thinks he or she is powerful. And everyone does have a little bit of power. Everyone has some kind of power, even if you don't have any power over anyone else, then you still have so-called power over your own body. Everyone has a little bit of power, and people are always trying to extend their influence in family, friendship, and love. Like in friendship, there's one person is like a type A personality, and he dominates the others in the group of friends. So he's like the big dog. It's all dogs and cats, but everyone is always trying to control. And that's really because why does everyone want to be in control? we leave, because the essential answer, the only answer is why does everyone have that same desire? Why isn't it that I want to be in control? Why can't it just be like, I don't care. I'm in control. You're in control. Who you do your thing, I'll do my thing. And I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone. I'll do, but everyone wants to control other people in family, in friendship, in business, in government, in sports, and so everyone wants to show they're in control. So we come from Krishna's association, and everyone knows that Krishna is in control. Krishna is the person that everyone is serving. Everyone is serving Krishna very happily and joyfully, in full surrender. And the reason for becoming a fallen soul is we thought, oh, why everyone's serving Krishna? Why not me? Why doesn't everyone serve me? I'm as good as Prabhupada says in one place. Why shouldn't everyone serve Krishna? I'm as good as Krishna. Well, you're as good as Krishna in quality, but you're not God. You're not Krishna. You're not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You're not the center of attention. Only Krishna can be this, Radharani and Krishna can be the center of attention. And no matter how much you may want to be, you'll never be the center of attention in Goloka Vrindavan. That position is, like Prabhupada said, everyone, there are so many incarnations of God, specifically talking about coming from India, or in India, there's so many incarnations of God, but they're all shoe-kicking one another. I'm an incarnation of God. No, I'm an incarnation of God. And Prabhupada said they're all shoe-kicking one another.
Yeah, shoe-kicking.
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 Yeah.
Shoe-kicking.
Kicking with their foot. In one place, Prabhupada said, you may be God, or you may be God, but you're not that God. Another place, Prabhupada, in other places, Prabhupada says that yes, the Jiva soul is like a sample God. We are one with God, with Krishna in quality. I couldn't see you sitting there. You couldn't see me sitting here unless Krishna was manifesting himself in this chair as me. Otherwise, there wouldn't be anyone here. I wouldn't see, you wouldn't be there. I wouldn't see you. There's so many people that we don't know, that we know that aren't sitting here, that we can't see. There's some Krishna's manifesting himself as them in some other place. So we are one with God. We are nothing but Krishna, and we all have all the qualities of Krishna to a minute degree. We all have some spiritual beauty, some spiritual power, some spiritual fame, everything, renunciation, knowledge. We all have Krishna's qualities in minute form, minute part, because we are Krishna in that way. So Prabhupada said the Jiva soul is a sample God. Yes, you're God. You have some control. But Prabhupada often distinguishes between the words. You have to get the spray bottle. And we used to have one temple president. He'd have somebody standing beside him with a spray bottle. And as soon as he saw somebody's eyes close, shoot him in the face with it. And I got shot many times.
While giving class?
No. But I have seen once or twice somebody fall asleep while giving class. Not usually, but I've seen it. I've seen it. As Prabhupada would say, I have seen they fall asleep while giving class. I've seen it. Anyway, yeah. So we are sample gods. We all have some control, but we're not the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. Only Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and and oftentimes Prabhupada uses the word God in like as equal with Ishvara, as opposed to Parameshvara. God, any God is, but then he uses the word Parameshvara to distinguish between God and the supreme personality of God. So everyone wants to be Krishna. Everyone wants to be God. Everyone wants some control. And yeah, so that's really the only problem. That's why the offer from Krishna, Krishna said, just give up everything and surrender to me. I'll protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Just come to me. Just surrender to me. And he sends his representatives. He sends his Bhagavad Gita. He leaves his Bhagavad Gita. He gives the Srimad Bhagavatam and all the Puranas, all the Vedas. All for the only purpose is that everyone should come back to him. That's the only purpose of all the scriptures. There's only one goal of all. Krishna is the goal of all the Vedas, Vedanta, Bhakti Vedanta. Bhakti is the goal of all the Vedas. Bhakti Siddhanta. Bhakti is the perfection or the goal of all the perfections, all the spiritual perfections. And I heard Prabhupada talking about this just yesterday. He was talking about the Vedas, and he said, he's saying that the point of all the Vedas is just to know Krishna, is just to come back to Krishna. There's no other goal to the Vedas. The goal of the Vedas is, although there are arrangements for different sacrifices there, the goal of the Vedas isn't to get rich or have a good family life or become powerful or become beautiful in the material world. Those things are all within Vedas for different sacrifices. But that's not the goal of the Vedas. The goal of the Vedas is to surrender to Krishna. And if you don't, and Prabhupada said, if you don't come to that point, that the goal of surrender is the goal of surrendering to Krishna and knowing Krishna, wanting to go back home, back to Krishna, then there's no point to all the Vedas. We show some respect to someone who's educated in the Vedas. There are some scholarly people who can quote so many things from Vedanta Sutras and all kinds of Puranas and this and that. We can understand this is an intelligent person. They're knowledgeable and something, but if they don't know or don't accept, even after being informed that the goal of the Vedas is to chant Hare Krishna, surrender to Krishna, then there's no real accomplishment there. There's no real accomplishment to any material pursuit. being the king of Ushinara, the king of Syria, or the president of the United States, who I wish would go away. And there's no value, no ultimate value to anything. We can show us a little bit of respect, like if the president or King of England came in here now, we'd be, oh, King of England, all glorious to you. And we would show respect and honor, but really he's just another conditioned soul trying to be a big man. Somehow by his karma, he got to be king. So, but a minute from now, he could have a heart attack and fall dead on the floor. They get a big state funeral, and all the presidents and kings from around the world would come to his funeral. But 2 days later, everyone would forget about him. He'd be gone like anybody else. So we give some respect to people with a little bit of position in the material world, but we don't. There's no spiritual respect that we give to them or owe to them. Everyone is an eternal servant of Krishna. No one is a bet, and no one is the King of England said, "Okay, I'm moving in the temple today. I want to be a brahmachari, and I'm going to give up my kingdom, everything. I'm just going to live in the temple." I said, "Okay, move in. You're a new devotee. You know, probably wouldn't have him go wash the pots because he's old, but it'd be like, okay, you know." You're just another new devotee in the temple. Good. I'm happy for you. That's an accomplishment, and you're getting acceptance and honor from Krishna, definitely, and from the other devotees. Now, do you want to go out on book distribution with Bhagavad Kripa to MIT in the cold weather? Rather not. Well, you should go. But I was the king 2 days ago. Well, now you're just now you're a submissive, humble brahmachari in the temple. Well, you should go out on book distribution. And anyways, there's only one problem that we have, that every conditioned soul has. We have, I have this problem, I have that problem. One of my favorite stories, and I tell it pretty frequently, is the devotee who went to Prabhupada and said, "Prabhupada, I want to surrender. I want to be a good devotee, but there's so many obstacles in my path." And Prabhupada said, "I can kick out all those obstacles with one kick of my foot." And everybody goes, "Oh no, I can't surrender because of this." I know it well, because for 5 years between the time I knew I had to be a devotee and actually moving in the temple, for 5 years, I was still avoiding surrendering to Krishna, and I suffered a lot because of it. So I know the syndrome, or I know the mental objections and so-called obstacles very well. And then moving in the temple and living in the temple for a long time, I had a lot. No, it's okay. It's almost time for. He's probably tired. He doesn't sleep enough. Anyways, I struggled in the temple with surrendering to everything for several years. I mean, a long time. I'm doing better now, but so I know it well. There's only one problem that we have, and that's that as Jiva Soul has so many lifetimes of conditioning of trying to be in charge, trying to be Krishna, and still having some desire, even knowing the philosophy and knowing that it's the only no quits. I just read that. No quits.
What are the only one problem?
What?
What are the only one?
Yeah, the only problem is that we don't have, we're still like holding back. No, I'm really not ready yet to surrender everything. I'm still trying to maintain my independence from Krishna. I still want to maintain my idea of myself as being an independent actor. There's authority, there's temple authority, there's Guru is the authority, Krishna is the supreme authority. I know that. I've declared that I wanted surrender in Krishna consciousness, but I still have some desire to be independent. That doesn't go away overnight. Most cases, almost all cases, that doesn't go away overnight. Everyone still holds on to a desire that I want to be the independent enjoyer. I want to do what I want to do. That is my desire. One time Prabhupada said in one situation, it's not applicable in every case, in every situation, but in one situation, he said about one devotee who wanted to do like big austerities in Mayapur and just chant all day. And the devotees told Prabhupada, this devotee wants to do that. And Prabhupada said, on that occasion, he said, as soon as you say, I want, it's all sense gratification.
Yesterday only I heard.
What?
Just yesterday I heard.
Yeah. And it's an old thing that Prabhupada said, or I think it might have come from, or been repeating something that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said, that as soon as if you say, I think, then you should finish your statement in the closet. I'm pretty sure that's from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. It came through Prabhupada. We say, anyway, we do that all the time, and it's not, and like if I'm talking to somebody, and they say, "What do you think I'll say, like, what do you think we should do in this situation, in this make this service better?" And the person will say, I think we should do this. And I'm like, I think we should do that. And so it's not like in every case, but Prabhupada is making an example, is like stressing in a particular circumstance to make us a very specific point at that time. And it's applicable in many situations, but not universally applicable. But as soon as you say, I want, there's other times where Prabhupada, one other memorable time where Prabhupada asked one devotee, he said there was a choice of 2 or 3 different services that this disciple could do for Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, well, which one would you like to do? And the disciple said, well, Prabhupada, I'd like to know what you wanted. Prabhupada said, I'm asking what you want to do. Okay, all glorious to